It's Week 10 of the National Football League. And here's the pick artist himself, Trayvon Diggs. He's been one of the NFL's best ball hawks this season with 9 interceptions. It's the Cowboys and the Packers on EA Sports.
This place first opened way back in 1957. We are inside legendary Lambeau Field here in Green Bay. Today we hit Week 10, and we've got a good one in store between the Dallas Cowboys and the Green Bay Packers. Alongside my partner Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And CD, you look at the Packers in this matchup, but with how good they have been, it's not often that we can say they come into a game truly facing a challenge. But Charles, that's the case this week.
Absolutely. What a challenge it is, because they're now coming into this one, and they don't exactly have a clear advantage, something that they usually possess in every game they play with the way that they throw the football. I can't wait to see if they change things, if they emphasize different things than we've seen throughout this season, how they go about trying to move the ball downfield.
The shadow's starting to get a bit longer. Week 10 of the NFL season is here, and we're underway on EA Sports. This one fielded at the 5. And he'll get it up past the 20 to about the 22. And here comes the winner of the last 2 NFL MVP awards, Aaron Rodgers, as he brings his Packers out for their first series of the game.
And for how good he is throwing the ball, it's his running that makes him so dangerous. He had a couple of touchdowns on the ground in last week's game, so we'll see what they dial up for him for this one.
Right to the air is Rodgers. Tunyon's got it on the out route. And he'll get this up to the 44-yard line. 13 yards on the game's opening play.
And there's a completion to the tight end. And look at the size of these players nowadays. In that spot, 6'4", 6'5", and up. A lot of guys used to be basketball players. Somehow came back to football. That's really good for the game of football. You get better athleticism, great hand-eye coordination, guys who know how to control their bodies when they run their routes.
Rodgers now on first down. And this throw will be intercepted. Picked off by Trayvon Diggs. Remember, Charles, this is the #1 defense in the NFL, and they prove their mettle here, forcing the turnover on the opening possession.
And sometimes when you play a team that has that reputation, it's earned it by their play. The psychology is, okay, they're #1. They have to prove it to us, and they tried to attack. They found out that that ranking was real.
And if history is any indication, when this defense gets off to a good start, look out.
Yeah, their offense plays off of them awfully well, too.
The Cowboys taking the field on offense, and for a 7th season, it's Dak Prescott who brings them out.
And you've got to think that they've got to be feeling pretty fresh. You know, coming off of the open week, didn't have to play, right? Gives them a chance to rest up a little bit, heal some of those aches and pains, and excited about playing again. That really rekindles things a little bit. I want to see how they come out and establish themselves here early.
And that bye week coming right where they want it, in the middle of the schedule. So Prescott and the Cowboys now with a 1st and 10 at their own 42. They'll run with Pollard to begin the drive. We'll get this up to about the 44. A lot of storylines in this matchup. The Packers have had the upper hand. They've won 5 of the last 6 meetings. You think about the Dez Bryant game in the playoffs and the catch, no catch controversy. But, of course, the news here, the return of Mike McCarthy. He was the coach here from 2006 to 2018. Only Curly Lambeau himself has more wins as a Packer coach than McCarthy. And that includes Vince Lombardi. So he had quite an accomplished tenure, no doubt, including the Super Bowl win. Prescott off play action. Eluding the pressure right. And this one too low.
Well, he certainly did a nice job improvising there, extending the play, hoping someone would come open downfield, but they never did.
So the failure to connect on second down, that leaves them staring up here at a 3rd and 8. Here's Prescott. That one caught along the sideline. Did he stay in? Yes, he did. But hang on here. A penalty marker is on the field. A little too much extracurricular there.
When you have a game with a lot of contact, tensions are going to run pretty high. You're going to be emotional, but you have to harness it somehow, and he didn't on that play.
So the yellow flag came out, and that leads to a new set of downs for this offense. 1st and 10. And with a play clock about to expire, Mike McCarthy's going to take a timeout. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this first quarter. They'll go with Pollard here on 1st down. They get him to the ground right on the cusp of the red zone after a pickup of 5 or 6. The Cowboys at 7-1 now on the year. They come in off the extended break from the bye.
And I think it was much needed as well because you play 2.5 months. You know you're ready for some time off in order to get prepared for the home stretch. In fact, when they looked at the schedule to start the season, I think they liked where their open week fell.
7 yards there and a 1st down.
Usually we see runs like this as the defense breaks down later in the game, but this guy is setting the tone early, running through all types of tackles and putting the defense back on its heels.
3 tight ends in the ball game here on 1st and 10. The first carry now for Adrian Peterson. And this play goes nowhere, losing yardage back to the 15. Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up 2nd and 11.
The short field shrinks even more with the type of bodies they brought in on that play. Those extra tight ends, they weren't able to secure their blocks, and that one ended up going backwards.
They'll try to throw now. Prescott. That is caught at the 7-yard line. Touchdown. Peyton Hendershot. His 2nd touchdown of the season. And the Cowboys have taken the early lead on the road at Lambeau.
We know someone just added to his touchdown passing total. But all he did was get the ball out quickly to his tight end and let him take care of business the rest of the way.
Brett Maher on for the extra point. And this is up and good to make it 7-0 Cowboys. A drive that time of 6 plays. And it culminates in a Dallas touchdown. The kick team out there for the Cowboys as they run up to send this one away. From the 6. And he'll go down as this drive will start at the 25-yard line. The Packers offense here coming back out for their 2nd drive. They threw an interception the first time they had the football, wound up leading to a touchdown the other way. How do you approach drive number 2?
Going back to your game plan coming in, everyone has matchups that they like better than others, where they think they have an advantage. Dial up some of those plays. Try and go to those spots and get your offense moving.
Trying to shake off the interception. He'll look to throw. And his guys are going to take over at the 34-yard line.
Well, they're certainly not giving much help to their defense, are they? Because for the 2nd time now, that D has had to run back out on the field early after an interception. And remember, on the last drive, the opposing side took it in for 6 after that interception.
2nd drive forthcoming here for the Dallas Cowboys. And they'll have good field position here following the interception and a chance to build on their lead as they start with a 1st and 10. From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10. Following the interception, here's Prescott. That is caught by Lamb. And he gets this one inside the 15, just a yard or two shy of the 10. 23 yards on the play.
Well, as a coach, you absolutely love seeing your offense find their rhythm early, and that's exactly what we've seen so far. They had a touchdown on their opening drive, and now they connect here for another nice gain for a 1st down. This offense is moving the ball well, exactly as he drew it up in practice.
Now a 1st and 10 at the 11. Prescott now. Looking left side, and he's got a man. That's Ferguson. He's tackled a yard short of the marker. Good gain of 9 on 1st down.
And that's why defensive coaches preach swarming to the football. It's usually going to take more than one guy to get that big man down.
And it did right there. Multiple broken tackles, but they eventually get him down. Looking to throw again on 2nd down. Prescott, touchdown, Cowboys. Dalton Schultz. And the Cowboys are taking a 13-0 first quarter lead.
The whole team is involved in this game. Take the ball, defense, and go right back and score again. You have a lot to win. That's working.
That's exactly right. Touchdown, turnover, touchdown, 2-score lead. A little bit like you at breakfast this morning. I got to get this in. You had a perfect omelet, dropped it, so a little bit of a turnover. You went right back though and got that omelet and crushed it.
You got to do what you got to do.
Yeah.
You got to do what you got to do.
A little worried about your hands, though.
Yeah.
Barr on for the extra point. And it's good, and they have jumped out here to a quick 14-0 first quarter lead. Scoring summary, 3-play drive. And it was the tight end Dalton Schultz on the touchdown reception to cap the drive. The kick team out there for the Cowboys as they run up to send this one away. From the 6. Well, now how about this return? And they'll start this drive just across the 30. Pretty nice work on the return. He's piloted 2 drives so far, and unfortunately not very well piloted. Both led to interceptions. Now they're facing the deficit. Another touchdown after that previous pick. Starting over here, 1st and 10. They're coming out with a jumbo package to start the drive. Now the man from UTEP, this is Aaron Jones. And he'll scratch out only about a yard up to the 32.
I don't think any of us were surprised that they decided to start this drive on the ground after the last 2 drives ended in interceptions.
Unfortunately, though, not a lot going on that first play.
Yeah, I think the anticipation was felt also by the defense.
And here's another tackle made at the line, so they're converging well on the football now. Calling no gain on the run there, and now they'll be looking at a 3rd down. Well, this defense, Charles, really played well in that win a week ago.
Yeah, and what stood out to me on tape, the way they were flying to the football. So that tells me that they've got all their assignments down, and they're playing with extreme confidence.
Pass caught, it's Romeo Doubs. And he's going to have a Packers 1st down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
You can almost hear the sigh of relief coming from their sideline and from their point on the field because this has been a tough start for them thus far. A much-needed 1st down there. They needed something good to happen. Plays like that will continue to help them dig out of this hole.
A run with Jones on 1st down, not going to yield much. A yard tops. 2nd down coming up.
No doubt about it. A really nice job there by the defense, not allowing him to get to the perimeter. But that means your defensive ends, your outside linebackers, the guys that you pay big money to sack the quarterback, they also have to have interest in the running game as well. And they did a nice job there of holding the point of attack and not giving ground.
14-0 the score. This is the NFL on EA Sports. Back for the second quarter in Green Bay. It's the Packers in possession of the football. This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. Here's Rodgers to throw. He finds Randall Cobb on the completion. And he is out of bounds inside the 30.
An ex-teammate used to tell me all the time, I hate experienced quarterbacks because no matter what, you really can't hide what you're doing. And I think that right there, he knew right away where the blitz was coming from, where his primary guy was going to be, and he ended up going to a secondary target for a nice game.
I was just going to ask you, that wasn't the primary target. He's so good at that, isn't he?
I think he knew right away that he wasn't going to get to his primary guy. I think he read that as soon as he got to the line of scrimmage, knew where the pressure was going to come from, and said, I know how to beat that, and that's what he did.
Again, they'll throw with Rodgers. And Rodgers intercepted a 3rd time. Picked off by Trayvon Diggs. And the Cowboys are going to take over at their own 30-yard line. Oh, this is just crazy. He's got 3 interceptions, Charles, and we haven't even departed the first half of this ball game.
I think if you're looking at the stats right now, you're saying, all right, who's the leading receiver? Well, can you flip it around and say that maybe he is and could be for the game the way that things are going right now? I think if it's him, he wants to be on the field at all times.
So Prescott of the Cowboys now with a 1st and 10 right at the 30. He'll hand it off to Elliott to begin the drive. And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. Great stop by Devontae Wyatt, breaking through the line and stopping it cold.
And that's what I'd like to see out of this defense, a little fire, a little toughness. It hasn't been the best first half for them, but they did do a nice job there, forcing a loss on that play.
They play fake to Elliott. Now Prescott. Oh, he rifles one, and that's going to be intercepted. Picked off by Darnell Savage. And the Packers are going to take possession of the football. So really the first speed bump that this offense has encountered. They had the rule of the roost here in this first half, but now slowed up just a bit by the interception.
And there's a chance that that's a wake-up call for them because you don't want to go on autopilot too early. That team on defense is capable of making some plays similar to the one they made right there.
Rodgers' throw finds its target, Dobbs. And they're going to get this down near the 35-yard line.
When you're playing a quarterback with some experience and some moxie, you enter the danger zone when you decide to blitz him because if he's able to diagnose as he did on that play, he can hurt you downfield.
He reads defenses so well, doesn't he?
He really does, and the best part about that play for him, I don't think that was his primary target.
I don't think so either.
I think he had the read, figured out where the blitz was coming from, and went to a secondary target for a really nice game.
They'll try and run for it with Jones. And this is not going to be enough. Was in search of 2 yards and only got halfway there.
Well, they picked up a portion of it, but not all that they needed. Now that leads to a decision on 4th and 1. Let's see what they decide to do.
Already down 2 scores. They're going to go for this rather than settle for 3. They'll go with Jones. And he's going to have the first down yardage as he's down at about the 30-yard line. A solid pickup of 5 and a very solid 4th down conversion. And defensively, pure frustration. The 4th down run successful. Now they look to pay it off on 1st down. On the counter, here's Jones. And he still has yet to get on track in this first half as they're going to stop him behind the line. He'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11.
I have a feeling they'll stay committed to running the football, especially on their early down. No long success just yet.
So after the loss of a yard, they'll look to push forward here on 2nd down and 11. Here's Rodgers. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Picked off by Trayvon Diggs. And the Cowboys are going to get the football here as he gets this up past the 20-yard line. Charles, are you kidding me? 4 interceptions? I mean, that's a good season for a lot of defensive backs.
A lot of reason to get voted into the Pro Bowl. When you have 4 in one game, that means jump out a campaign slogan, right? I got 4. Send me to the Pro Bowl, guys. What a game we've experienced watching this one.
The midterm elections are now concluded, and I think we can all breathe a sigh of relief for that. But now it's time for midterm football, where we move past the unofficial halfway point of the season, and we got a couple of good matchups in the night games here in Week 10. Tonight it's North versus South in California, the Chargers and Niners from Santa Clara. And then tomorrow, Monday night, it's both Charles's birthday, happy early birthday, buddy, and the first primetime appearance for the Commanders as they travel up to Philly to take on the Eagles. A lot going on. From the 21, it's 2nd and 10. Now Prescott. And this is going to be intercepted. Picked off by Eric Stokes. And the Packers are going to take possession of the football. Well, I saw the pressure coming out, and that just looked problematic. Hit him as he threw it, and the interception ensued.
Let me pay homage to the man who stood in this spot before. He always talked about how much pressure is in the face of a guy, and can he step into a throw. And when you can't do that, oftentimes interceptions result.
So after the INT, it's Rodgers. Sideline throw, it's complete. And a nice job there of keeping the toes inbounds. 4 yards remain for 2nd down. Now a draw play. This is Jones. It's a gain of a yard, and it takes us to the 2-minute warning. A good chance this is 4-down territory if they're unable to convert. But right now looking at a 3rd and 3. On the delay, Jones. Well, they hit him in the backfield, and he will not escape. And that is not going to get it done. The Cowboys going to use their 2nd timeout now. So that means they're down to 1 remaining here as we head toward halftime. So on 4th down, on is the punter, Pat O'Donnell, to kick it away. And here's a very low-line drive, almost whiffed on it. And this will depend on the spot as it sails out of bounds. And they'll say it sailed out at the 10-yard line. The field position game, such an overlooked facet, Charles, of an NFL game. But this offense, they're going to be pinned back. What an ideal punt.
An ideal punt, and it leads to that term complementary football. Because them doing that puts their defense in a great spot, doesn't it? Gives them a chance. If they want to be aggressive, try and maybe get a safety out of this whole thing, that puts them in that position.
They go back to the air here after the INT on the last drive. And able to get it across the 20 before they get to it. And quickly they get to the line. Off the play fake, Prescott. That'll be taken in there by James Washington. And he gets this one just shy of the 40, down at the 39. Prescott looks to throw on first. And he'll be hit as he releases it, and that'll fall incomplete.
This could be the start of a nice stand from this defense now after getting worked backwards on this drive. Come through with another one here, and you have them staring at a 3rd and long, and that puts the defense in a position to dictate to the offense.
After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. Prescott to throw it. And for the 3rd time here in this half, it's intercepted. picked off by Darnell Savage. And the Packers are going to take possession of the football.
So first thing comes to my mind is why didn't they just sit on the lead and take it to the locker room? They're in good shape.
Absolutely. And from this spot on the field, now you've given the other side a chance for points here going into intermission.
Yeah, you changed the momentum of the game, and it's something you did not need to do.
The Packers going to use one of their timeouts as they'll stop it with just over 40 seconds to go in the first half. Line of scrimmage, the 43 on 2nd and 4. Rodgers with a give. It's Aaron Jones. And the running lane's non-existent in this first half as they'll stop him behind the line. Now another timeout called for by the offense as they stop it here with just under 40 ticks to go in this first half. Flag comes in. This might be a free play. Throw left side complete. That's Watkins. And he's going to be taken down at about the 33. So offside's the call, and they understandably decline it.
And this is why we're seeing more and more teams hiring that one coach to the staff that's in charge of all these things. This one's minor. It's pretty easy to figure out. But all the game management stuff, trying to help out the head coach in his decision-making process.
Throwing on first down is Rodgers. And he'll be taken down at about the 22-yard line.
Well, these guys have definitely been outplayed in the first half. I like their countenance. I like the way that they haven't panicked out there, the way they're carrying themselves. They're starting to move the ball, and what you have to do, maintain your poise and start to put together some drives.
That's complete to Dobbs. And brought down, but not before they get it inside the 10 to the 7. And they'll burn the timeout with 5 seconds left. A chance to try to add 3 points before heading to the locker room. The kick by Crosby is good. And they will get themselves on the board here at 14-3. Well, still some climbing left to do to get back to even, but forcing a turnover and getting the field goal there, that's a small step toward erasing the early deficit.
Absolutely. That interception field goal, that's the beginning of what they hope will be several steps towards erasing that deficit and building a lead of their own by the time this game is over.
So we have reached halftime here with a visiting Cal. Halftime over, no problem with us. We skip right to the third quarter and continue this midseason contest. And we welcome you back live now inside the booth alongside Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gordon, set and ready to rock for the third quarter. The Cowboys will get the football first here, and they have the lead as well as we are underway in quarter 3. Now a hit and a loose football. So a teammate picking him up there, that was nearly disaster.
And the way that you coach these things, you want to make sure you have eyes towards the return guy because you want to make sure that the catch is secured. A lot of teams do that. They have at least one guy. Okay, you're responsible for making sure he secures the catch. He's not always the one that makes the recovery, but he can always sound out the alarm. Hey, ball's on the ground. We've got to get it back.
So after the run for no gain, here's 2nd and 10. Now Prescott. He's got his man. It's Gallup. And he'll get this one way up just shy of the 45-yard line. So they will tread backward on the holding penalty.
And I know that they're going to get coached up and they'll get yelled at a little bit, but let's face it, it is hard not to do at the speed and pace that they play.
Now after the holding call, here's 2nd and 20. Looking left side, and he's got a man. That's Ferguson. And he'll be taken down after big yardage, but folks, there is a flag down, and they're already walking this one back. Mark that one against one of the top left tackles in the league, Tyron Smith. And this one almost intercepted. Far too loose with the football. Nearly a 4th pick of the ball game. something here on third down. Throwing, Prescott. Prescott able to get down there at the end on the slide, and he has the first as well. A real letdown defensively. That was third and a bundle, but they allow the conversion.
It certainly appears that he's been able to get a read on how they've wanted to contain him in this game. He's seen some places where he can beat them in big spots, and right there, he slides in with ease for the first down.
From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10. A handoff left, Elliott. They'll get it across the 35. It'll be 2nd down.
Oh, that's a real nice job there by the defensive front. They just engaged and held their ground. But how about the guy who made the play? We often talk about whether they take a good first step or not. Many times you just don't take any step. Just get your feet moving, get your body going, and then once he made the read, he was able to make the play.
And he puts his head down and gets up to the 42 for a gain of about 6.
You certainly have to give a little credit here because they're playing this game now at their pace. This is ball control football, sustained runs, taking their time and making it work.
And Elliott trying to work his way forward, but it looks like he did not make it. They'll run it with Elliott. And he brings this up to the 46, good enough for the first. A big roll of the dice on 4th and 1, but it pays off. They convert. So he needed 1. He ended up getting 3.
And I really like the way he ran that one, too. That's really intelligent running because oftentimes a running back can get too greedy. Try and hit the home run on a play where you just need a few yards. Well done there, making sure he got the first down and not worrying about trying to get a touchdown.
That 4th down decision, unconventional but effective, and they indeed come up now with a 1st and 10, a fresh set of downs. And this will be taken across midfield and into Green Bay territory. It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a 2nd and 3.
Looks to me like maybe there's a little attrition setting in with this drive, because when you see that type of a run, I get the feeling the defense getting a little bit tired.
And that's the last thing they need, especially when they look up at the scoreboard. On 2nd down, Elliott. And this won't be enough to pick up the first. A gain of 2, 3rd and 1.
Sometimes with the running game, you just got to stick with it. This is the 3rd quarter. No time to panic. But that also doesn't mean you just do it the same way you've been doing it the entire ball game. Maybe change up some blocking assignments or run a few different plays, but stay with the overall essence of the running game.
And he'll find Washington. That's complete. And he will have a Cowboys first down as they're able to convert on 3rd and short yardage with a gain of 4. Prescott. That's caught. It's James Washington. And he'll be brought down at about the 23-yard line.
And now we get into the psychology of the whole thing because a lot of teams with a 2-score lead in the 3rd quarter, they almost become defensive with their offense, just playing not to lose. I think with this team, you got to figure at this point, this is a great spot for them to go into attack mode, really try and put the hammer down and finish this one off.
First down, here's a run with Peterson. And he'll take it into the end zone for a Cowboy touchdown. Peterson, career touchdown number 126, the same number Jim Brown had during his 9-year career. And the Cowboys take the opening kickoff of the 3rd quarter and drive right down the field to extend their lead. Marr now to add the extra point. And it's 21-3. That one in the books as a 12-play drive. And it's capped off by a touchdown run by Adrian Peterson. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. And he'll just sit on this one as their drive will start at the 25. Here's the Packers offense now getting set to start off this third quarter. And their halftime hole now even deeper, and they need a big drive here just to answer the first touchdown of the second half scored against them.
They were down at the half. Now, as you mentioned, they're down a little bit bigger, but no time for discouragement. Just got to get back to it, right? Put your shoulder against the boulder and start pushing and try and get back to where you were to start the half.
And ultimately, this won't go for much, maybe a couple, but boy, he showed off that make-you-miss ability that certainly is in his arsenal. The last run good for 2. Here's 2nd and 8. Now Rodgers. And he's just throwing the ball up for grabs now. Fortunately, that one going to fall incomplete. This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down. Rodgers now to throw. And the throw there going to be incomplete.
Well, they certainly aren't letting up today, partner, because they've forced big turnovers already. And it's been incredibly tough for them to get yards against, let alone put points up on the board.
O'Donnell, he's on to punt as he gets this one away. Taking it about the 36. 33 yards is the distance on the punt there. And the Cowboys will take over the football with a 1st and 10. And now Dallas gets set to take the field. And now you've got the clock winding down here in the 3rd quarter. Your 3 scores to the good. What's your approach on this drive?
Too early to fully commit to playing the clock game. Yet at the same time, you're also not going pell-mell like you would in 2-minute offense. This is what NFL offenses call 4-minute football. Take the clock out of the game a little bit, wind it down, but at the same time, keep advancing the ball down the field.
The last run got 3. Now here's 2nd and 7. They'll run left with Pollard. And he'll be brought down on what's going to turn out to be the final play of this 3rd quarter. So they'll get a little extra time to come up with his 3rd down play as we played 3 quarters. We'll return with more after this. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Back now at Lambeau. It's the Cowboys with the football. They'll be looking to tack on to their lead as we get set for the 4th. They'll run it. Here's Peterson. Give him a couple on the run as it brings up the 4th down. He was brought down at his 49-yard line. But he's got 20 yards on the play. Brings up 4th down. They'll run for it. Peterson, and able to pick up the first across midfield to the 47. I'm guessing you'd say this is kind of the key here. Grind out some yardage, work on that clock, see if you can continue to tick it down.
Definitely. You want to bleed things out at this point, right? Continue to possess the football, gain some yardage, and put the onus on the defense. Do they have to use timeouts? What are they going to do to stop you? You're taking charge.
Big Kenny Clark that time, pushing upfield to make the tackle for loss.
They have 3 tight ends in that formation. That's almost a universal sign that they're planning to run the football. But how about the defense there? They met force with force and caused a stack up behind the line of scrimmage and threw it for a loss.
So their task a little bit more difficult now. 2nd and 13 that they're walking up on. They run straight ahead here with Pollard. And he's got room. A nice job there as he rumbles for 9. And it'll be back to a 3rd and 3. They'll try and run for it with Elliott. And he's able to get it to the 31, and that's enough for the first. It's a 9-yard gain, and it keeps the drive moving.
Well, I don't think there's any question, Brandon, at this stage. The stop troops, the defensive guys, they got to use their 3 timeouts here. They've got to stop them and get the ball back.
Yeah, if you're in that 2 to 3 score deficit window that they're in now, you got to get it ASAP.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Stop them, use your timeouts. Easier to move the ball on offense without timeouts than to stop them on defense without using them.
5 yards on the carry. Good pickup on first down. Starting to become a tough spot for this defense. You're down fourth quarter. Looking a little fatigued maybe on that side of the ball.
Partner, we've seen this before, haven't we? Because every coach we've ever talked to says body language is important. And now you're seeing guys with their hands on their hips. They're bent over, hands on their knees. And the offensive guys are just saying, let's just keep running it out. And we've got them now.
Cowboy first down there. Prescott to Gallup. This is something you got to be wary of defensively. I mean, just because they're in the mode of trying to burn some clock doesn't mean they won't pass it, and they got good yardage out of that one.
Yeah, and really, when you're looking at it, now they've got a fresh set of downs. Look for second down. If they want to take another shot and try and loosen things up, that'd be the time to do it.
And here he'll get it down to the 7. Call it a gain of 3 on the play, and that'll make it second down. They don't need to run another play here before the 2-minute warning. Let's see if they do it anyway. To throw again on second down. Prescott. And that is incomplete. A lot of force bearing down on him there. He could not hang on. It's third down.
Oftentimes when you're losing a game and the team's still throwing with this kind of a lead, you start playing a little more physically. And they took that opportunity right there to be extremely physical and force that incompletion.
Meanwhile, on third down, they take a shot at the end zone, but it's incomplete. So the Cowboys in possession of the football here as we get you reset. They've got a fourth down here in a game that looks to have been decided already. The kick by Maher is good, and that will extend their lead even further. Well, ultimately not really sure that they're going to need those 3 points, but they'll take the 3 and they pad that lead.
Yeah, this one's already wrapped up, but you and I both know if you're an offensive coordinator, you never let up on the gas unless the head coach tells you to do so. And maybe you've actually clicked him off in your headset so you can keep calling plays and trying to add to this lead.
Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. From the 6. And they'll start this drive just across the 30. Pretty nice work on the return. The Green Bay offense now about ready to take possession here. Where we stand right now in the fourth quarter, this one pretty much out of reach. And, Charles, I know they're going to be disappointed about several things with this ball game, but the self-inflicted wounds, they've had several turnovers. You would have to think that's going to be something they're going to discuss heavily in the film session in the coming days.
You're absolutely right about that, partner, because they're going to have to sit in that film room and watch every error that they made and figure out how to not do it in the future. And mentally, I think a lot of the guys are already starting to think about, okay, how do we put this behind us and get better for the next time out? This, they'll use as motivation for the rest of the time that they play to hopefully never be in this type of situation again.
They're going to need to get up and set in a hurry. On 1st and 10, here's Rodgers. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. And he gets us down inside the 35 before going out of bounds. And again, it's Rodgers. And my goodness, another interception. Picked off by Trayvon Diggs. And the Cowboys will take over here as they get it up to the 43-yard line. I think you and I were a little surprised back earlier in the game when he threw his second interception. I mean, who would have thought a quarterback of his caliber picked now 5 times?
It's beyond stunning to me because we're used to that with maybe a quarterback with less experience or less talent. But a quarterback of his caliber, I can't believe what we've just seen.
Absolutely. If you would have told me this coming into the ball game, I would have said never, not in a million years, but here we go. Good starting position for the Cowboys here as they come up 1st and 10 at their own 43. Well, Prescott here to throw. And he knocks the ball away, and it falls incomplete.
I think it's fairly safe to call this game over, but they're still trying to bomb it downfield and add to their lead. Almost makes you start to feel for the defense and root for them a little bit, too.
On 2nd and 10, Prescott, Packer pressure, and down he goes. Now the Cowboys going to burn the first of their timeouts. It's just their first. They've got 2 more to use here in the final stages. Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. And it's knocked away and incomplete.
Well, 4th quarter with a 3-score lead here, Charles, but they're still going back to the air and looking for more points.
Well, with this game well in hand, it's an opportunity for the guys to come off the bench and get a chance to play. And a lot of coaches, they want to run their full playbook no matter who's on the field.
Fourth down, Prescott. And he bats it away, and it falls down incomplete. Mike McCarthy took the gamble, didn't pay off. And the Packers are going to get the football back in excellent field position. So we were looking at each other up here in the booth when they went for that, saying, oh, wow, talk about trying to add insult to injury.
Some teams are just like that. You know, some philosophies, some coaches are like, look, when I got a chance to put some more points on the board, I don't care what the situation, I'm going to do it. And they're also the same coaches as a general rule that if someone does it to them, you won't hear people protest out of them. That's just who they are.
So line of scrimmage still at 39 on 2nd and 10. To throw, it's Rodgers.
He's got the hook up with Dobbs.
Now a final chance to stop it here as a timeout comes in with 10 seconds left in the game. Rodgers now on 1st down. And this is caught by Watkins. Now the Packers going to go ahead and use the 2nd of their timeouts. That'll leave them with just 1 remaining in this 4th quarter of play. From the 17, Rodgers gets this to his running back, Aaron Jones.
And the Packers are going to be set up with a 1st and goal here as the tackle made at the 9.
One final try now for Rodgers. And his throw's going to be incomplete. So this one will end in a victory for the Dallas Cowboys. And it was their defense that really made the statement after the break. They pitched the second half shutout.
Yeah, think about the team that just got vanquished. They did score in the 2nd quarter. Do you think they thought at all that that would be their last points of the game?
No, but what a second half. The adjustment, whatever they did in the locker room, it certainly worked.
It certainly did, and you're exactly right. Whether it was an adjustment, whether it was just more focus on what they planned to do going in, whether they just played better, whatever it was, it all came together in the 2nd half, and no points were allowed. That's a great way to close them out.
So for the Cowboys, they're setting themselves up as a major contender as they move to 8-1 now on the year. And they'll get another road date next week as their opponents will be the Minnesota Vikings. Meanwhile, for the Packers, it's a loss that'll drop them back to 500 through 10 games. And they'll be at home next week for a date with the Tennessee Titans.